Welcome, everyone.
Mary-Jo.
Hi.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us today for our Mindfulness Wednesday on March 9th. Um, and again, we invite you to check out our videos that are on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. And also, don't forget to check out Mary-Jo's personal YouTube page as well. And again, thank you for joining us today and looking forward to today's mindfulness session with Mary-Jo.
Thank you, Barry. And I'm looking forward to being with you too. And here we are. And I was just speaking about clouds, and I'm going to kind of carry on that tangent because I like the idea that we look at clouds um, as these kind of evolving, ever-changing, moving through the sky, never the same, always having, excuse me, I'm just trying to, always, not only are they moving through the sky, but they're also changing form. And they have a bit of a personality, clouds do, and they sometimes even have shapes that we recognize and we attach maybe a meaning to them, just the same way we do to our thoughts or our emotions. So they're a great representation of thoughts and of what we do when we look at mindfulness, and we make this conscious effort really to observe our thoughts and the movement of thoughts, and to learn to become maybe a little bit, more the witness of our thoughts than kind of being pulled into the movement of the thought or the shape of the thought, which is what could happen if you jumped into the cloud. And you may find that the cloud, you thought it was one way and then it changes and it moves to another. And often that's what we find with our thoughts, that they're true for us, but they're not necessarily true in the sense of truth. And this leads me to a couple things that I wanted to touch on today, especially as we are in such a very a really challenging time here on earth, where we have a lot of global things that we're experiencing that are quite fragmenting. They separate people, they cause incredible suffering. And how do we find a place where we, in our personal lives, things are going on, and in the global, things are going on, and we're in a very tumultuous time. And how do we find a place of peace and, of resolve in amidst all of this clamor and chaos and very, heartfelt suffering? And this is really the question of the ages, isn't it? And in mindfulness, we look at this through the lens of, well, the best thing and the most important thing that we can do is to be peaceful in our own hearts, no matter what is going on. And that could potentially help us in the moment, at least, in the moment, to be in a place where we're not, in this chaotic, very activated and unregulated place in our own being. And so we're better able to respond to not only our personal circumstances, but to this greater global situation that we all find ourselves in. And Viktor Frankel, of course, who was the hero throughout the Second World War and through all of the tragedies of that time, has this incredible quote in his book, which is, I think, a reminder for all of us that we can just pause, no matter what the situation. Our capacity to find some sense of equanimity, because equanimity is so important, is in the pause. And his quote, "Between the stimulus and the response, there is a space. And in that space is your power and your freedom." And this is in the space between pain, in the space between, in the space between the argument that might be arising, in the space between your self-critic and not having a thought, in the space between between being overly excited or joyful, all of it. We all want to find a place of equanimity. And that really is what the nervous system actually craves and really thrives on, is that equanimous place where we're not in reaction and we're not in shutdown, where we're not in fight, flight, or fear or freeze. And this is crucial for the health of our nervous system. And it's crucial for our mental health. And so this pause that we practice in mindfulness, because that's what we have to do, we have to practice it, because we're not innately driven to be in a pause, silent place. We're like the clouds. Our tendency is to be with the clouds, moving along in this great movement of life. And so when we make this conscious effort to pause, to take time out from all of the thoughts, all of the roles, all of the responsibilities, all of the things that we do, we allow our system to regulate. And that is giving us power and freedom. And that's also giving you health, because within that pause, we find capacity to make choices. We find capacities to respond in a more empathic, compassionate way, either to ourselves or to the situation. And so that is our journey in mindfulness. And then we are able to then hold that space for others. And the more we can do that individually, the more that happens on the collective, which brings us back to the beginning of my conversation with you about, this greater global trauma and global situation that we somehow feel we have no control over, which we literally almost don't. I mean, we can, send money and we can provide prayer and support, but our other great tool is mindfulness, is creating a peaceful space here so that we can allow that to radiate out there. And just like the rock in the pond, we have no idea where those ripples are going to end. And the more we do it together, the more we do it individually, the better off we all will be. So that's my little spiel for today as we move into our practice. So allow yourself to come in then to the most comfortable, dignified, seated position that's available for you right now. And that could be anything. I have, bolsters and things that I use to bring more support into my situation, so that I can, work toward feeling that beautiful integrity of my spine, that sense that the spine is this central core to your body that holds you in dignity and repose, and that allows you the capacity to really be within your core and also within your body at the same time. And so as you do land into your body now, allow yourselves just to take a moment to really just move in kind of a waving pattern, just rolling the shoulders a little bit back away from your ears, letting your tongue relax at the back of the throat as you begin to breathe a bit more consciously, perhaps taking breath in. Some of you may feel that it feels good just to be still within your spine and just let the head just release a little bit, ear to shoulder, using your breath to just relax the head and neck and shoulders. And then coming into a position of somewhat centered, equanimous balance. Feel like you can just gently float the shoulders up towards the ears and the chin down towards your chest, breathing in and breathe out through pursed lips. And relax the shoulders down. And again, repeat that. Shrugging up, inhaling, and then exhaling through pursed lips. Relaxing the shoulders down, letting all of the air out of the tire or out of the balloon, and just resting now with your eyes closed if that's available for you, or just gently looking downward. And pause. And as you find yourself in pause, consider, without any changing of anything, just consider how the pause is your place of choice, of freedom. And you may notice the vast expanse of silence, or you may notice a lot of activity and a lot of noise. And no matter what you notice, allowing yourself to receive through your awareness all of it with equanimity. No judgment, no deciphering, no need to change or fix. Just notice. Get curious. Allow your curiosity to roam on the inner landscape of your being. And if astronauts go to explore the outer space, imagine yourself like a somanaut, just on your inner soma, your body, soma meaning body. Just roll around and rove around on the inner landscape. And in this inner landscape, tuning in to the sensations of your body is a way of anchoring and grounding your attention. Inviting your body to relax, which it knows how to do. So by the invitation through the exhale, exhaling, releasing, perhaps feeling that invitation in your mouth, relaxing the insides of your cheeks, the base of the tongue, the roof of the mouth broadening, the inside cheeks soft. Noticing the sounds, taking them all in with that same equanimity. Equanimity means that there's no attraction and there's also no aversion. So we're not drawn into them. Well, we might be, but we allow for the observance of that, not the movement of that. Equanimity is the non-reactive mind. So whatever's going on around you or within you, feeling the capacity of equanimity to receive all that is. You may notice that the breathing becomes quite unconsciously subtle, and this is a good sign. Always remembering you can bring it back into consciousness. And just considering perhaps as you pause in your presence that it's this very refuge of presence. That allows you to enter into life more fully. And allowing it to be your refuge. Really taking a moment to perhaps even consciously acknowledge that this particular place you are in right now is distinct from any other place that you may inhabit. Not only this moment is it distinct, But this act of being present is very distinct. Tuning into sound, allowing your attention to move through the various sensory modalities, with sound being our one that we will attune to for now. And using the muscle of your awareness, allow your attention of sound to move far beyond the walls of the room that you sit in. So stretch way out beyond the walls. See what you can hear. And then bring your awareness closer to your body, more toward you, to your embodiment. And let it be in the room that you are in, that you occupy. Whatever sounds may be there. And then move it in even deeper. Felt lots of sounds around me. And see if you can bring your awareness deeply into the inner landscape. And just listen. Perhaps you hear your breathing. Perhaps you hear other sounds outside of your body, which is fine. See if you can filter right into your own internal sound. And then with the amount of sounds going on around in the world, in particular environments, it's a good practice to then shift now and move your attention from sound to taste. And taste inside your mouth. And then shifting from taste to feeling, to sensation. So feeling your tongue. Feeling the insides of your cheeks. Feeling the outside flesh of your face and perhaps out to the outer corners of your eyes. And then the flesh on your forehead softening, relaxing the skull away from, or the brain away from the skull at the hairline. And then feeling also your breath. And as you breathe in, maybe you notice temperature. Maybe you notice the percolation of breath at the back of your throat, that subtle vibration. And while we're in the tactile body, allow yourself to feel where you're sitting. Feel the weight of your body, the density, all of the different things. And then go back to breathing, feeling the breathing, and then feeling now the breath moving through the core of your body up to the crown of your head and back out, down the spine and out through the bottom of your body on your exhale. Just using now the inner eye to not only feel, but to see. Breath moving in on the inhale from base of spine to crown of head. Breath moving out on the exhale, crown of head down to base of spine. And after a couple of those, relaxing your attention on your breath and feeling into that inner eye. And now going into your visual again. And now what do you see behind your closed eyes? Some people see images. Some people may see light. Some people may see a dark back of the eye. Some people may see different forms. Whatever it is you see. And then softening the outer corners of your eyes and allowing yourself to relax yourself completely again in a pause before we begin to bring ourselves back into our outside world. So noting this transition and noting that there may even be anticipation in the mind. There may even be the list of to-do things that comes up. And just giving yourself some space in this pause time to just recognize this transition. And then slowly but surely, if you feel called to rub your hands together, creating a bit of friction in the palms of the hands, and then letting them rest in the eye beds. And knowing that that's always a pause for you, a beautiful kind of nice, easy pause during the day to do. And then as you come back into the room, making the distinction between the two spaces that we just occupied in our inner landscape and out into your outer landscape. And just take it all in for a moment, just like a baby would sort of take in something for the first time. Just notice your room, surroundings about you, and then noticing each other and coming back into the space we occupy together. So lovely. Thank you. Hi. You can open up the mic if anybody wants to have any inkling to say anything or whatnot. I also will mention, Barry mentioned at the intro, that there's the YouTube channel, which always has these recordings. But I also have a YouTube channel, and eventually at the end of May, when these sessions come to a close due to the funding for this one, thank you, Kara. We will be, I will probably continue this on my personal YouTube channel. So you guys will have to switch over just to a different link, but we'll probably send that out to you. Or I think, if I'm not mistaken, Barry's also put that link in the SCI&U study YouTube channel, the one that has all these ones. So not to confuse you after mindfulness, but if you need more information on that, just let me know. But thank you for your practice today. And if there's any comments or questions, yeah, go ahead, please. Thanks.
Can I say a word?
Of course.
Hello?
Yeah. Hi.
I did, as I was exploring and being in my own space, I heard messages to myself to say this, which is a great thank you. And I want to also thank the other participants that I see on my screen. Maybe there are others that I don't see, but Christina and Linda. The presence of others while I'm doing this practice, and just a small awareness that people are doing this together, is something I'm thankful for. And also specifically, Mary-Jo, for your gentle nudging from space to space, your voice in the background, urging me to, it's funny, can't use the word urge, but encouraging me to let go, I guess, is very helpful. And anyway, I'm thankful for all of this amidst, as you mentioned earlier, the heavier aspects of what's going on in the world that we're all aware of. So many thanks for everyone's presence.
I agree. I agree. Thank you, Rob, for your beautiful words. It's lovely.
I also wanted to say I especially like the idea of almost like a little ball running around inside your body. When you said that, that's the concept that came up to me, and just rolling it around and checking on everything. It was very easy to follow. And I could have stayed there for a long time, I think.
No, neat. Love that, Linda. Thank you.
It was.
Nice. Beautiful sharing, everybody. Well, we have a beautiful thing, and we will keep it going, and sending ripples out into the world. And thank you for being here. So we share together, and we grow and learn together, and we create the world we want together. So I love that we can do this.
When we go to your YouTube site to continue the practice outside of SCI, will there be an opportunity to make comments here and there?
Yeah, for sure. It'll be the same setup. It'll just be a different channel. Okay. The same in the sense that it'll be, this will all be the same. I won't change the format at all. So yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right, lovely people. Well, I am grateful for all of you and for our practice together, and enjoy your pauses and think of the equanimity of non-attachment and no aversion, and holding space for that in a time when we really need that. So bless your hearts, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes, thank
You
you,
too.
Mary-Jo. Thank you,
Blessings.
everyone. See you on the 23rd.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Barry.